everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about post-interview communication because it is that time of year where everyone wants to know if I should be emailing my top choice and my first, second, third, fourth, whatever choices that they are, those choices on my rank list. Okay, so now that that's out of the way. Personally, I think that there is no harm in telling your number one choice that they are your number one choice. Whether or not the program director or like whoever's on the committee takes that into account, it's their choice, it's their decision, and they can do with that information whatever they please, but at least you did your best, you put it out there into the world, and that's that, you told them. And I don't think anything bad can come out of it as long as you're not lying. Telling the other programs that you're at the top, this is like a little controversial. In fact, I was just talking to my husband about it because he's ENT, and I was like, did you do that? And he was like, yeah, I did it. It worked out for him, I guess. But for me, I kind of had a different opinion where I did it, and at the moment I thought it was the right thing to do because I just wasn't sure. And in retrospect, I feel like if I were receiving an email that was like, I'm ranking you highly, like, it's just so vague. I'm just not sure how I would take that. Like, okay, so you're ranking me not number one, but I'm at the top. Like, am I 2, 3? And how many do I send? Do I send it to my top 3? I think top 5 is personally a little excessive, but there's just so much uncertainty, and so I would say send it to your number one, don't lie about it, and then the rest, some people say yes and some people say no. I think ultimately as long as you don't lie, you will be okay, but just remember that, like, it's all about reading between the lines. So when you send someone, I rank you highly, they know right off the bat that you're not ranking them number one, because otherwise you would have said the words, I'm ranking you number one. So what you choose to do with that information is up to you. But to me, I think it can go either way, and it works for some people, it makes no difference for some people. I assume it hurts some people, that's why this whole don't lie thing is even, you know, being shared. And I think those are kind of my major pearls. Don't lie. Say yes to your number one. Tell them they are your number one. Plus or minus the highly email. And then, what else? There's nothing else. Another thing I want to mention is, like, don't get swayed by what the programs tell you. If they email you and they're like, we're ranking you really highly, we liked your application, we think you're a really strong candidate, you'd be a great fit, forget it. Don't buy it, because people have gotten screwed by that. And if they are originally not where you want to be, it shouldn't matter to you, because they might, I mean, it might screw you over, and then you're gonna go there, and if that's not where you originally wanted to go, then it's only gonna hurt you. So don't forget to ignore what they say to you. Just worry about where you wanna go, rank it, make your list according to where you wanna be, and you'll be okay. But yes, so you can send your love letters and they might ignore you, but I would suggest to ignore anything that they say to you, period. I did not get screwed over by this, but other people did. So there are some places that will tell you if you're ranked to match. I think like some of the big programs, I'm just like reading SDN right now, which is a very toxic place for me, but I don't know. Ignore it. That's all I can say, ignore it. You never know. You never know, guys. I would trust nobody, personally. This is a good point, and I just want to mention it. I'm literally reading off of SDN right now, but it's a very good point, and it completely exemplifies why you should ignore anything a program tells you, because it says that in order to fill X number of spots, you have to interview much more than that, right? Like, the example here is that if a place ranks for 10 people, they might go 30 into their rank list, and so they might tell all those top 30 people that they are like a great candidate and that they want you, because that's how far down their rank list they're gonna have to go. So do not trust them. Trust me. Just to address the thank you note thing, I think that you should say thank you. I think an email is fine. You don't need to snail mail it. For different programs, they have their rank meetings at different times. We have ours right after the interview day, So like if you send us a thank you email even the next day, it doesn't matter. But that's kind of why we do it that way. It doesn't matter to us like whether you did or you didn't send an email, so why would it play into our rank? But for other people it does, I guess. So I think the polite thing is to say thanks. If they offer you an email address, just say thanks. If they don't, I would maybe just thank the coordinator with the email address on the website and leave it at that. You don't need to, you know, like search the internet or ask the coordinator for the program director's email. I would just skip all of it, say thanks to like whatever email addresses they provided to you and leave it at that. And if you don't send it, which it seems like before you start interviews, like, oh yeah, I'll send it, and then you're like 6 interviews deep and you're like, crap, I haven't sent any, it's fine. You don't need to, unless it's like your #1 program and that's where you want to be and you've put all your eggs into this basket. It's different. But yeah, I would not stress over the thank you cards. Like, no reason to handwrite them, no reason to worry about it. It's just another thing, and if you really want to, send an email. That's it. Honestly, the internet is like such a scary place. I just read someone at SDN that's like, our program director says he never remembers who sent thank you notes, but he certainly remembers who didn't. I don't know. I don't know if like that's really, I think people are just trying to scare you. Guys, radiology is supposed to be chill. Just go to the interview, get a feel, just like be polite. Send a nice email at the end if you have the mental capacity. I know interviews can be really tiring and overwhelming. I don't think that you really like need to worry about it. I don't know, maybe I'm too laid back. I now understand why people are so stressed about this, because there are like so many freaking opinions. Another scenario, which I'm reading. I wasn't planning to write a "You're my #1" email, but I did, and I got a response that was like 2 paragraphs long. It felt really good from the #1, and then he matched #3. Or she. Ooh, here's another example. I wrote thank you notes to every program except one. I also got a very positive reply from my #1 program after I sent my #1 email that they were their #1. Didn't match at the #1. The point is that these are totally variable, and I don't think that the thank you note had anything to do with them. I think people will like you based on who you are academically and as a person, and the thank you notes don't matter. In conclusion, because we are writing a research essay with this video, #1, thank you cards don't matter. Write them if you feel like it. If you forget, it's also okay. 2, tell your #1 they're your #1. Don't lie. Maybe I should make that #3. Don't lie. Ever. In any situation, including this. And 4, you decide how many programs you want to say that you are ranking them highly. I would suggest to #2 and 3. That's it. I hope that was helpful. Reach out to me again if you have any questions at Yasha Gupta MD on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm super responsive. I'm on there all the time. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!